guys, it's Al B here.
And it's your boy KT, and you are here for another great installment of Off the Coast featuring Al B and KT, yours truly. Now, we have a lot to cover today. We have over a week's worth of action-packed games and highlights for you guys, and we'll be discussing all the playoff predictions and scenarios that are going to come about in the playoff scenarios coming up soon. So, Al B, today's sponsorship is brought to you by, we wouldn't be able to do this episode or be out here in Praia League, operate the Praia League without our sponsor BAI, which is banking from Cape Verde. We wouldn't be able to do that without them. We'll be able to operate things the way we have been financially without them. We're having a great time with them here. We wouldn't be able to do anything without them. So thank you to our sponsorship, and we greatly appreciate it. Now, let's jump into it, Al. We have missed about a week of action, and that is a lot of games here.
A lot.
So,
probably
we're going to cover everything.
12 games?
I think it might have been 12 games, but a lot of them were classics.
Yes.
Instant classics. So, we're going to get started with the first team. We're going to talk about the Sharks. The Sharks did have a new look coach with, Charles Williams coming in, one of our very own. He came and he brought energy to the team. He brought a game plan and structure to the team.
Yes, for sure.
But one thing that can't go without mentioning is a lot of people call them the baby sharks, but now they're the great white sharks because they got a couple of they got a couple of additions to the team now. And you can go ahead and speak a little bit about that, about how Joel Embiid has come in.
Yes. So we have two national players. Joel Embiid has been he's made a big difference on the team. He's helped structure them also because, he's a veteran. He's almost 40. No offense. But Charles Boozer has been playing great. They've been doing well. They just need to make their free throws.
Absolutely. You bring up Charles Boozer. He has been the absolute closer in the fourth quarter for these last few games. Now, granted, there has been a couple games in which they could have won had he, like you said, made his free throws.
Yes.
Free throws win you games, and more importantly, they win the Sharks games when Charles Boozer is at the line. But you can't talk about the bad without talking about the good. Charles Boozer has had outstanding games. He's a fourth quarter guru is what I like to call it. They got a huge win.
Buzzer beaters
over the Sharks. Yeah, they got a huge one over the Sharks with the two clutch free throws that he made. Had a nice little buzzer beater three-pointer and totaled up 8 points in that fourth quarter under the last 2 minutes and 3 steals. So it was an amazing time for him. But the Sharks have battled through some things. They had a couple losses. They lost to the Warriors. That was a very, very tight matchup. They had to go against Scoop and Yo-Yo. That was a tight matchup for them. They fought well, but the wildest game they went through, the Volcanic Coast. They had a couple matchups with the Volcanic Coast in which Nasir Cord just had his way. He had a triple-double, and he actually hit a half-court buzzer beater in overtime.
It was amazing.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have that lined up for you guys.
For sure.
Yeah, that's definitely a candidate for Player of the Summer without a doubt. They bounced back from that, however, and they get a couple wins. They had they had one blowout loss. It was a bad one. But their last game was the worst.
The worst.
They lost by 30 points.
They didn't look like they were all there.
Absolutely. They lost by 30 points to a Gorilla team who didn't have their best player in Alex Austin, who averages roughly 33 points and 14 rebounds. He's having an outstanding summer, and he didn't play.
I know.
And he still had a great game.
That's why I feel they should have taken advantage of that. Alex not playing. But
absolutely.
But have our losses.
Some names to keep an eye out for on the Sharks. As we mentioned, Joel, Charles, but Malik Miller, ladies and gentlemen, he's having an amazing summer. He started off a little slow. His first 2 games weren't all there together, but he's now generating 20 and 15 rebound games, 20-point games, and he's really doing everything he can in the paint and arguably is the best big man here. I know prior episodes we said Andre Jackson, but welcome to the ball game, Malik Miller. He has proven himself to be the best big man on the island for sure. So keep an eye out for them. They have a 2-5 record heading into the playoffs, Al. They're ranked number 5 in the playoff seeding bracket and have to go against CBC Dalla in their first round. So we'll keep an eye out on them. We'll keep an eye out on our predictions later on in the show. We'll keep you guys waiting on that. But on to our next team, the Panthers, Al.
Oh, the winless Panthers.
The winless Panthers.
Man, I expected more from them, honestly. 2-3 wins was, what I predicted, but I haven't gotten anything out of it.
I wanted them to win. I wanted them to win so bad. And there was a couple games that I felt like they could win. Of course, they lost Anthony Lane due to some family personal issues. He had to go home. We wish him the best. And I'm praying for him and his family and everything he has going on. But they did have a great addition with Brittle. Denzel Brittle is an absolute leader that they needed on the floor.
Definitely
the vocality, the older guy, as you brought up with Joel, they needed that older guy on the Panthers. And they were and some nail-biting finishes. A couple of them, like the one against the Sharks, where Charles Boozers knocks down those huge shots. That's a close one. And they even lost a close tip-in to Mario Williams, who hit a mean fadeaway mid-range jump shot to win the game.
Their rotation. I feel like it's their rotation. They
Absolutely
don't rotate.
Their two-guard tandem has to learn how to play with each other if they're going to have any form of success in this league or in the playoffs, because everything is 0-0 now.
Yeah.
You know, everyone is 0 wins, 0 losses. It's all about the bracket. All these games now matter towards the championship. So hopefully they can be that underdog. They can have that kind of push. You know, we do know Nick Maynard Hall got hurt in his last game, a little bit of an ankle issue, and Taurus is trying his best to consistently put up 25 points a game. He's doing what he has to do. I think he could just take some better shots. He's taking a high volume of shots, but he's not taking a high volume of good selected shots.
I feel like the Panthers are more focused on their stats than playing as a team.
Absolutely.
And that's the biggest issue they have.
Absolutely. And they have some interior issues as well with the lack of their big man, Anthony Lane, who is gone.
Yes.
They have some serious rebound problems. But Nick, the highlight reel, Maynard Hall, might be able to set some things up. Let's see what they can do in the playoffs.
Nick, no manner.
They're 0-7. Hopefully they can get a couple, maybe one win at least, and upset one of these teams. They're ranked 6th in the seeding. They have to go against the Gorillas in their opening round of the playoffs, so we'll see what they can do there. But our next topic, CBC dalla. This is the heavyweight team. Everybody coming in thought was going to be undefeated. Top dog. They were going to control the house.
Because they had #1 pick.
Yes, they had #1 pick Paris Collins, who started off slow, actually had a 1-game suspension, and has been dealing with a couple on-court issues with his teammates. The chemistry isn't really 100% there right now, but they're putting things together. And with Paris, you can see his numbers growing every game. Every game his rebounds are getting
passionate.
higher.
Passionate.
Oh, absolutely. You see, if you've watched any game, ladies and gentlemen, live, you know how passionate Paris Collins can be about the game of basketball. So we'll keep you guys involved with that. But one thing, CBC dalla, they had high expectations. They had a close loss to the Warriors. You know, that was Paris's first game back from suspension, and that's when Zoran got hurt. So they haven't really they haven't been able to play together yet until they came across a team with full capacity. It was going to be a dog fight. They had to go against the Panthers, who were looking to get a win against them because they were all. Kobe Reeves was playing for the first time with Zoran Talley and Paris Collins all on the court at one time for more than one quarter. So we were trying to see exactly what they can put together, and it was a great win for them. They were able to put together a good team win against a Panthers team who we all know can be a shocking team and sneak away with the win in almost every scenario. So that was an absolutely great thing. What is one thing that you're looking for mostly out of Paris Collins in this playoff race?
As vocal as he is, I would like him to be more positive with his teammates, rather than, you know, barking at them, so that they can like play well together. Because I think the way he expresses himself plays a big part on how they play together.
Absolutely. And you bring up the
that's
like
basically all I can say about it.
Sure. Like you said, you bring up the emotions, the on-court chemistry. It's definitely an issue. You could see they tried to do a couple things in their next game. They actually lost to the Gorillas, and Draco Rodriguez-Palmer had 51 points, and they actually tried to trap him a couple times. That was clearly not working, and that didn't do anything but add to the frustrations that they already had going on the team. You could see Paris Collins getting into it with officials. You could see Zoran getting into it with the officials. The whole team getting into it with each other. The chemistry just was not there, and you could see it. You could see it. When they lost to the Sharks, you could see it then. And when they lost to the Gorillas, you can see it then. But I think they might be pulling it together now. They might be trying to figure things out. Because
the last game wasn't too bad.
They got a huge win. They beat the Volcanico, who was trying to bounce back after a tight loss against the Warriors. They were trying to bounce back, but they beat Volcanico.
Chemistry was there.
And their chemistry was there. Like you said, they did do a little arguing, but they were quick to disperse the argument. And that 2-3 zone, that defensive coaching mindset that they played all together in the last game, if they can have that cohesion, I don't see them blowing up on the court like that and costing themselves any more games.
I agree.
Absolutely. They are actually finishing with 3-4 record, and they will be playing the Sharks in the opening round of the playoffs. And if they win that game, it's going to be a tight one. And the winner of that contest will actually go off to play the Warriors. So we will see. The Warriors are waiting to see who they'll be getting in that scenario. But we brought up the Gorillas a couple of times in prior scenarios with other teams because they are doing what they came here to do.
All I'm going to say is Alex Austin.
Alex Austin. Alex Austin, the man, the myth, the legend, averaging 33 points just about and 14 rebounds. It's astonishing he hasn't played the last 3 games, and they are still winning.
Still winning.
And I think that's what helped them the most, because when Draco got hurt, he got injured, he had an ankle injury and a head injury, so he went out in the second half of the Panthers game. And at that point, everyone was thinking the Panthers are going to get their first win, because now it's just Mario Williams, and everyone knows Mario Williams
got injured the first game.
Absolutely. Everyone knows Mario Williams has been fighting through that injury. He's been dealing with the up and down summer. He hasn't really played to his capacity yet, but that was his coming out game. That was his coming out game. He had 36 points over the Sharks, and he hit the game-winning shot to beat them. Not the Sharks, the Panthers. He hit the game-winning shot to beat the Panthers. And it was astonishing. It was a welcoming out game. And I talked to Rodriguez Palmer after the game. He said, I'm glad he had that. He needed to have that game to build him some confidence. And he's 100% right. A young player, only 19 years old, he just needed to see the ball go in the hoop.
Right.
And you see that directly correlate to the next game. Yes. As last night he had 50 ball. A 50 ball.
So crazy.
2 20 pieces and 1 10-piece McNugget. He was going crazy, lighting it up. He had 12 3-pointers from deep. Draco actually had a 32-point triple-double as well, with no Alex Austin.
It's crazy.
So you have to kind of be scared about what they can bring to this playoff bracket.
I would be scared of Rio, because the way he's been crossing up yesterday. Sorry, Charles Boozer.
Yeah, it was bad.
Oh my God.
We all love Charles Boozer. He's a great player. He has a high basketball IQ, a high motor, and they say you don't get crossed up if you're not playing defense.
Correct.
So he was playing some extremely intense defense, but even the best of us get caught.
True.
So Mario caught him a couple times, and it was a highlight reel for the fans for sure. He added that to his tape. I'm sure it's going to mean a lot to the people back home, but it's going to mean more to the win column that they pulled off that huge upset over the Sharks by 30 points. 30 points.
I was not expecting that.
Absolutely not, especially with the full Sharks team coming back to play the Gorillas without Alex Austin. I thought maybe rebounding would be an issue for them, but Malik Miller was a bit quiet.
The Sharks just didn't seem like they were there.
Maybe
I don't know if they're
resting.
focused resting or focused on the playoffs.
Focused on the playoffs. That's definitely.
They didn't seem there at all.
For sure.
So.
But the Gorillas got a huge win going into the playoffs. So we can see if they can carry that momentum, see what they can do going on to the next bracket, see if they can go on and face the Volcanic Cove. If they win this game, they'll have to face the number 2 seed of Volcanic Cove. So we'll see. Speaking of Volcanic Cove, 5-2, ladies and gentlemen, the number 2 seed in the playoffs. They have had 2 back-to-back losses, one extremely close loss against the Warriors. That was a battle of the undefeateds.
Yes.
But we are not going to talk about that just yet because Volcanico have had such a stacked season, ladies and gentlemen. The highlights, the moments, and the big shots that Nasir Kaur and the Volcanico have been able to do have put this league in the spotlight, for sure, without a doubt. They came out to a hot start. Nasir Kaur actually had a 60-point game, ladies and gentlemen. 60 points against the Gorillas, and that was a Gorilla team that was firing off on all cylinders, Al, and they just couldn't do anything with Nasir that day. They couldn't stop him. So you would think he wouldn't have anything left in the tank for next game. He surprised us against a extremely new-look Sharks team that had Michelle Mendez down low with Malik Miller. That's 2 dominant bigs down low. And, of course, they were outnumbered with only Cam Clark down low. Nasir Kaur actually guarded Michelle Mendez for half of the game. Yes. A big man. Guarded a big man for half the game, along with having a 30-plus point triple-double, and took it to overtime. He missed the fourth quarter little hezzy elbow jump shot. He missed that one off the rim.
Once in a while.
Absolutely. But in overtime, when it counted, he hit a half-court buzzer beater, and ladies and gentlemen, the crowd was ecstatic. He took a lap around the gym. I don't think the Sharks knew what was going on. Absolutely. It was electric, and that's the kind of play you want to see to be in the MVP race. You know, we have Draco in there. We have Nasir Kaur. We have Alex Austin.
Yes.
You know, we have Joshua York-Frazier. There's a lot of names that can be brought up in this MVP conversation, so it's going to be tight, and I'm interested to see where it ends up as far as the MVP trophy.
Same.
But they had a huge loss. We'll get back to the Warriors. Undefeated versus undefeated last Friday. It was a defensive battle. It was a very, very close matchup where only the defenses really were taking place. They were showing their stuff. They lost by 6 points, the Volcanico, but I feel like that was a loss that they needed in order to build from. They had, not fingers pointed, but Juwan Stepney didn't score in the second half. And if he did, it was very little to minuscule as far as impact on the game. And with Jawan,
And like we
Nasir.
say, he's the super glue of the team, so
Absolutely.
he has to show
Absolutely.
up.
He has to show up for them to win in any shape or form. But their second loss, actually to CBC dalla, which is a bit of an upset in some people's minds.
I didn't see that coming.
Volcanico should have ran away with the win, but their big man Cameron Clark was suspended, and that had a huge impact. Of course, Paris Collins had 13 rebounds in the first half.
And like we said, dalla was actually playing.
They were playing together.
Yeah,
they were playing together. They
so.
came out in an aggressive 2-3 defense, and Volcanico just wasn't hitting their shots. They had open shots and open opportunities throughout the game, but they weren't hitting their shots. It was a tight game all the way up until about the fourth. And then CBC dalla, that zone tightened up. They started to get off on a couple runs, couple fast break layups, points added up, and then they just weren't able to come back with Volcanico. So Volcanico took a second L, but I kind of think of that as an empty loss. The loss doesn't really hold any weight. It doesn't mean anything.
Like you say, 0-0 now.
Absolutely.
So.
It's 0-0 now. They go into the bracket.
Game.
They hold a first-round bye on Wednesday, so they won't be playing Wednesday. They'll be sitting back, relaxing, and seeing who they're going to play between the Panthers and the Gorillas. We'll see which team comes out. I think we all have a good idea about which team will come out. But hopefully the Panthers can make it an interesting matchup for sure. And we're back actually from our commercial. Thank you to our sponsors there. Of course, we wouldn't be able to do anything without our sponsorship. We greatly appreciate you guys. But like I was talking about before the break, the Warriors are playing team basketball, and we've said that from day one. Whoever plays as a team will have the best result and have the best chance to win a championship. But we're going to go into our playoff predictions at this point. So I'm going to make it a little easier. It's a pretty small bracket. I don't want to confuse anyone. Confuse myself a little bit. We have, of course, the Warriors at number 1. They're waiting on the left side of the bracket. First round bye. We have Volcanico on the right side of the bracket. They're at number 2. They're waiting in their first round bye as well. But we have the Panthers versus the Gorillas on the right side. Winner will play the Volcanico. Al, who do you have for that matchup?
Gorillas.
Yeah, the Gorillas. I think that's a pretty easy selection. But if the Gorillas come
all
out,
this season, so
if the Gorillas come out the way we're acting, as they're gonna just walk away with the win, then the Panthers might sneak one away.
Yeah.
They might pull it all together because they have this all games don't matter until now mentality about their team. And of course, with Brito, the senior leadership, we might see a showdown. We might see a battle.
I hope so.
I hope so as well, because they're gonna have their hands full with 3 30-point scores coming at them at all times.
You never know. The Panthers might come out strong, knowing it's 0-0 right now.
Yep. We hope
They
so.
have something to prove.
Okay, so on the other side, we have Sharks versus CBC dalla, and I'm a fan of CBC dalla.
And I'm a fan of Sharks.
They have their issues. They came in heavily favored.
Yeah.
They're bringing themselves together. Huge game from Zoran Talley last game. Had 35 points in his last matchup in the regular season. Kobe Reeves has been an amazing scoring guard throughout the season. Picked up the slack where others may have not been there. And Paris Collins is gradually getting better and starting to show why he was selected as a number 1 draft pick as he starts to build his numbers up all across the stat sheet. I say that
It's hard.
to say this. My hot take for this game, I've been 50-50 with my hot takes all year. Some say that's a good percentage for hot takes. Some say that's not. I don't really know. I'm going to continue to trust my gut, though. I think the Sharks are going to come out with this one. I think Joel Embiid is going to come out.
I see the dalla, but
I think the Sharks are going to come out with this one. They're going to come out too dominant. I think that Malik Miller is going to come out and expose Fonseca, the Cape Verdean big, for CBC dalla. I think he's going to expose him as he did the last time they played. When he had 35 points and 15 rebounds as a big man. Yeah, he definitely exposed him. So I think it's going to be a tough matchup down low for them. And then Joel Embiid, when they collapse on the defense and Joel's wide open, he's going to cash out 86%.
And if Alwyn keeps shooting the way he did the last
Absolutely. Absolutely. In 2 games ago, he had 24 points. Absolutely had a great game. If Alwyn Silva can come to play, Charles Boozer along with Malik and Joel, the sharpshooter, I don't see a lot of people beating them, along with the great coaching from Charles Williams. Ladies and gentlemen, he's had a Coach of the Year-esque season. Of course, we'll have to bring it up in the talks for sure. I mean, he took over the team after they had an 0-2 start, and they've had some extremely close games since then, minus the last one. But he's brought energy and a sense of strategy to their team.
Sure.
So we're going to see what that does in the playoffs. We're going to see how he can advance that. So, for our Final Four, we have the Gorillas versus the Volcanico. And we have the Warriors versus the Sharks. Who do you have going to the championship?
Warriors for sure.
Warriors?
Warriors for sure.
Okay, so you have the Warriors beating the Sharks. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's decision time.
Wait.
It's decision time.
Wow, this is a hard one.
Yeah. It's definitely a hard one. Let me run some statistics by you. I know you're going to need these ones for this game. Of course, you have Joshua York-Frazier averaging over 33 points a game, roughly about 8 assists. Andre Scoop Jackson averaging 24
Yo-Yo
and 12.
Frazier is really hard to stop.
He's a game changer. He's definitely a game changer. Multiple people have tried to trap him. A lot of people say trap off the high ball screen.
But the last time the Sharks played them,
it was definitely a tight matchup.
Yeah.
It was a tight matchup. Joel kind of held Josh down to about 15 points, but he scored when it mattered most.
Yes.
And that was what ended up determining the outcome of that game. So Josh really got stopped statistic-wise, but not from winning.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with the Warriors. I can't go against them. They haven't lost all season. I don't see them losing, especially with the team chemistry they have building up now, especially with the Cape Verdean talent they have coming off of their bench. I don't see them losing to the Sharks. I see Scoop having a great game. I see Malik Miller having a great game, cutting it close with Joel Embiid. It's definitely going to be one to watch for sure. Yes. It's going to be a close one. I think it's going to come down to a buzzer beater. Maybe a Joshua York-Frazier step back three. I don't know. Joel Embiid corner three. I'm not sure. I don't know. But I do think the Warriors are going to come out with it. On the other side, we have Volcanico versus the Gorillas. 3 30-point scores versus a backcourt that averages 66 points a game. Volcanico, Jawan Stepney, and Nasir Kaur average 66 points a game as a backcourt.
I think Volcanico is going to lose.
You think they're going to lose?
I think the Gorillas are better at defense.
The Gorillas are trending right now.
Yes.
The Gorillas are trending in a positive direction right now.
I think they can stop them.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay. I think Volcanico has lost 2 back-to-back games.
And they're ready.
I think that's out of character for them. I think their last game they were missing that interior presence from Cam. And I think he's going to come in and play a proper big man role. I think he's going to come in, he's going to assert himself, he's going to be dominant. And the 2 brothers up top, averaging 66 as a unit, I think they're going to surpass that average. I think both of them are going to have great games, 30-point, maybe a 40-point from one or the other. The Superman sidekick, that whole thing, hero sidekick thing, that doesn't really work for them. They're both 2 heroes. They both do their own thing. They do things that one another can't do. I feel like that is going to show its hand in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Gorillas are dependent upon Mario Williams. And Mario Williams, though, had 2 great games without Alex Austin in the game. That takes away ball touches.
Yes.
That takes away opportunity. That's another type of personality on the court at that time.
Yeah.
So we don't know how all 3 of them are going to work in the same way with Draco, Alex, and Mario. So I think that they might have a little bit of team chemistry issues going on the court. They might pull it out. They might not pull it out. I personally think that Volcanico is going to have a statement win over the Gorillas, maybe by more than 10 points, to be honest.
Oh, wow.
I think Mario Williams is going to be held under 25 points. I think Draco's going to get his, and Alex is going to get his, of course, but all 3 of them need to show up in order to beat Volcanico, and I don't think it's going to show up.
So who do you think is winning?
We have Volcanico versus the Warriors.
Who do you think is going to win the finals? The championship game. Who is winning?
Oh, man. You're going to put me on the spotlight just like that, huh? I'm not mad at that,
You know Volcanico is not going to want to lose against the Warriors again.
I think that when we spoke about it in the show earlier, that loss meant a lot to them, and it's going to help them. That's a positive loss for them. It's not an empty loss like we said about CBC to Dalla. That didn't really mean anything for them. But that loss against the Warriors showed them that they can lose.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're going to lose to that team again, Al. I don't think they're losing twice.
I think the Warriors will get their first loss in the championship.
And it's going to hurt.
It's going to hurt.
It's going to hurt. I think Josh York-Frazier is going to do everything he can. I think Andre Scoop Jackson is going to do everything he can. It's just going to come down to those who wants it more.
Yeah.
Who wants it more. And I think Volcanico just has a little bit more dog in them, even though, of course, I'm a fan of Andre Jackson from Baltimore, Maryland. Got to support the DMV always. I will never not support the DMV. But I just don't see it happening. I see Volcanico hoisting up that trophy at the end of the season. Ladies and gentlemen, that is KT's cocky selection for the playoff bracket. I'm going to leave it there. Al, who do you think is going to come away with the championship?
I agree with you, Volcanico.
Agree? Okay.
You know, if they make it to the championship. I did say Gorillas could beat them.
Okay. So you heard it here first from Off the Coast with Albie and KT. We have Volcanic winning the championship. It's going to be an amazing playoff series. I would definitely tell all of you to tune in Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. All 3 days will be action-packed with big shots, big games, and big names from Praia League basketball. I'm telling you guys now, you don't want to miss it.
You don't.
One more time, we want to shout out to our sponsor, BAI. The banking out here from Cape Verde, we wouldn't be able to operate and do anything we need out here without you guys. We want to thank you so much. Albie, the next time we talk to the people, we'll have a champion.
Yes, we'll have them here with us.
Absolutely. And you guys stay tuned. Our next show will be our best show. I promise you that. We'll have top 10 plays from the season. We'll also have our MVP. He will be showing up here. We will have that selected. And we will have the winning team along with the founder and CEO of Praia League, Antonio DePina, will come on the set with us. We'll have a fun episode with you guys with all things PBL related. But until next time, we'll see you.